morning. This is early o'clock. We're at the breakfast club, getting some breakfast. Look at Rachel's obnoxiously large water bottle that she spent like 2 minutes filling at the water stop, holding everybody else up. We don't know what gate we're at yet. We are still waiting. So we are filling our faces in the meantime. Because who knows when we're next going to eat. So yeah, that is the status. We are at Gatwick, North Terminal, and we will soon be flying off to Naples. How cool is that? Somebody's very excited.
I'm tired.
Gatwick is always a little chaotic.
What do you mean about Gatwick? Okay, how do we get to gate 45?
45A. I don't see anything remotely like 45A.
I think it's literally the closest gate.
Maybe. That'd be good. We've had a very easy ride so far. We parked in the Midstay car park, which Rachel thinks is a new car park that was built after the old one burnt down. But anyway, it was like a 5-minute walk straight into the terminal. No shuttle. Then we came straight through security. I think we were into departures in about 10 minutes. So we're going to be a record. Pretty impressive.
It's literally the first gate.
Ah, excellent. Our ease of transfer continues. Hi. We are aboard.
You're aboard.
Faces aboard. We're in Italy. Very warm. It's warm. Do you like a tarmac disembarkation? Here's our trusty steed. So we are attempting to find this, the Alibus. We have purchased tickets, which Rachel has in her hand. And we're now trying to find where we actually catch the bus from. Not exactly easy to understand, but we believe it is this general direction. It is very warm. We believe we are in the queue for the Alibus. With a bit of luck, we might get on the next one. It is warm. The sun has appeared. Well, we survived the Alibus. We're now at Central Station. And we are about to cross the road without getting run over. That's the sound of an ambulance, apparently. Right, we have successfully deposited our bag at the left luggage place. And now we are on a mission just to try and find the Avis car rental place, because we're going to need that on Monday. How are we feeling? Warm. It is warm. Very warm. So we are walking the streets of downtown Napoli. Probably not, but he who dares wins. One does want to document these things. Oh yeah. So we have arrived at a thing.
It's a bit nicer though.
Yeah. I don't know what the thing is, but we have arrived at a thing. Yeah. Maybe wait a bit. I'm guessing this would have been part of the original city wall. Not too sure. Oh yeah. Weird naked children things. Interesting. Pretty cool. Just here on the side of the city. Plenty of homeless people. It has a sort of a crumbling magnificence about it. This building has clearly been abandoned for many, many years, but it still has a construction crane. So something went wrong here. Interesting. Who knows? Look at all those pigeons. It's a lot of pigeons. We have progressed down Garibaldi Street, and up this end it seems a little nicer. Got some nice olive trees. A bit more provincial rather than mugging city. But you never know. So these are the botanical gardens on the other side of the wall. They look rather inviting, but unfortunately it is closed, and for some strange reason it doesn't open at all on the weekend. It only opens Monday to Friday, 9 till 2. We don't know why. So we walked all the way down here with the hope of chilling out in the nice gardens, but it seems it's not going to happen. So we are now back in the station, having taken a little walk down to see our apartment, which we can't go into yet because we can only go in at 2, and it is now 20 past 1. So we took a walk down, walked around a bit, stopped off for a Coke, and now we're back in the station having a Ichnusa, the Sardinian beer that we enjoyed so much when we went to Sardinia. So now we're just whiling away the time until we can go back to our apartment and actually check in. But it's been quite an illuminating morning, just wandering around Naples. It's very run down, shall we say, a little bit sketch. But for the most part, people just keep themselves to themselves, really, so I don't think it's that bad. Just a bit crumbling, much like Sardinia was. So we've done our check-in, but now we've been turfed back out onto the streets of Napoli again because the cleaners hadn't done the cleaning yet. So that's some good organisational skills from our host. Anyway, we're going up to the supermarket now. We're going to try and get some bits for breakfast slash dinner slash whatever. Hopefully by the time we've done that, we'll be able to go back and actually use our accommodation, which would be very nice. Would be nice, but you never know. This Italy is fine. Well, we finished our shopping now, and now we are sat in the square for our accommodation while we wait for the cleaning crew to finish. It should be done in about 10 minutes. At least it's shady, quite quiet. But quite honestly, we're a bit knackered and we just want to relax in our accommodation, which we paid for. Such is life. Well, so this is our accommodation, which we finally got access to. It's quite nice, very high ceilings, big hallway. This is the second bedroom, which we have decided to take, mainly because it looks out over the internal courtyard, which is a little quieter. but still decent sized room, good sized bed, a little wardrobe. And then if we carry on down through here, we have bathroom. Again, very pleasant, nothing wrong with that. Shower, washing machine, in case we need that. Then through here we have the kitchen. Decent, fully fitted kitchen. Not very much crockery and cutlery though, so we're gonna have to mix and match to make things work, but generally it's pretty good. Fridge. And then if we come through here, we have this weird like second hallway thing here, I don't know why. And this is the main bedroom, which we're going to gift to Rahina. And then here we have the lounge, complete with Rach modelling. Hi. And here's our balcony, looking out over the busy streets of Naples. Quite cool. And way over in the distance, you can actually just see the sea. Not sure if it's going to come out in the video, but it is there in the distance. So that's pretty cool. And it's a beautiful evening. We had a thunderstorm earlier, which was very dramatic. But the temperature is now cooled off. It's very pleasant. And we're going to go in search of some food shortly. That is our plan. So we shall see where the evening takes us. But yeah, despite the initial delay in getting access, this is actually a very nice little flat, I have to say. Not even little, huge actually. It's bigger than our house. Alright, good morning. It is the next morning and we have woken up in our B&B overlooking a nice bustling street in Naples, Napoli. We've already had some dramas today. So behind here we have these things which catch the condensation from the air conditioning units, and they were completely full. And the nice lady over in the next balcony gestured to us to say that we need to empty them, otherwise they're going to just go all the way down there and annoy all the downstairs neighbours. So I had to move these very heavy bottles and empty them into the sink, and in the process did something to my knee, so that's great. And also got dirt all over my only clean shorts, so Rach had to do an emergency wash. Thank you, Rachel. Other than that, life is good. We've had some breakfast. Just been watching the very impressive driving going on the road below us. As you can see, we've got double parking, got people just stopping in the road for no reason. This is obviously a very popular breakfast spot, and people just go down this street, which you can see is a one-way, but that just seems to be ignored. And they park all over the roads and double park each other. No one seems to mind really. Every now and again you get a few people getting angry and tooting their horns, but apart from that, life just goes on. As you can see, we've got a double parking situation here. We've got these three. Oh, and we got someone randomly turning out there. That was fun. Nearly rode into the scooter. Endlessly entertaining, this. Oh, what's happening here? We've got like a three-way. Yeah, it's great. Very interesting. In other news, our shower is atrociously bad. So this is the shower. we have, as you can see, I've stuck a sticky pad over one of these, which was missing. So the water was just pouring out of there and not really coming out of any of the other ones. So I've made a temporary fix. And it has this little button which is supposed to switch between this one down on the wall and that one up there. But when the shower's on, you can't pull it out. It's impossible. I think there's some sort of pressure differential or something, and just you can't pull it out. And if you stop the shower, then it goes cold for about 30 seconds before the boiler comes back on again. So basically you're locked in. You choose your shower and then you're locked in for the duration. And it really is pretty naff. So yeah, that has not been the best of experiences, to be honest. But other than that, we had a very comfortable night's sleep. Our bed is very comfy. The aircon is extremely effective. We were really nice and cool the whole night, which was great. And we just had some breakfast, which we bought in the supermarket yesterday. And I'm currently making coffee, which is one of these old school coffee machines. So there's quite a process behind it. First you have to boil a kettle. So hot water in the base. Coffee grinds into there. And then I screw the lid on the top. Light up the stove. And voila, there is the coffee, like some weird alchemist magic. Probably this is not particularly exciting for anyone who's seen one of these type of coffee pots before, but I think it's pretty cool. It will only make 2 coffees at a time though, so if you want more, you're going to have to repeat the process. Thank you, my love. So we are currently waiting for Regina to arrive. She's been 3 hours since she took off, so she should be here by now, at the airport at least. But we haven't heard anything as of yet. We have advised her to take an Uber to get here because, yeah, walking from the train station was a bit sketch, and probably doing it on her own is probably not the best idea. So, also that queue for the bus was not particularly great either. So, yeah. Regina has arrived. Here is Regina.
Hi!
We are down on the dock, and that is Vesuvius in the background. Very nice. And we are going to be going on a boat soon. But first, we're going to just maybe grab something to drink because we're a bit early. But yeah, it's a little bit more salubrious down here than up our end of town. So yeah, cool times. So we are off to find our boat. Apologies for the wind. It's only going to get worse. It's definitely not as fancy as these ones, but looks pleasant enough. Buongiorno.
Sorry, but I don't know every city. Sorry.
Alrighty, so we have our hire car and we are now on our way up to Pompeii, and we're taking the scenic route to avoid the tolls, and we are negotiating this Italian driving, which so far not too bad, but it is early, so yeah, see how it goes. And there is Vesuvius.
And there is an emergency vehicle to your right.
CC. It's fine.
It's fine. It's Vesuvius.
So we have made it to Pompeii without crashing, thankfully. And there it is behind us. How exciting. So we are just approaching the main entrance at the moment, and then we're going to do like an audio tour, which Rach has helpfully downloaded for us. Hence the headphones. So yeah, let's go and see what's happening. It is very peoply. There are many, many, many people here. Not surprising, really. But doesn't really matter. Still plenty of space for everyone to expand into, so should be good. Alright, so I'm standing in the Forum, which is basically the main square of Pompeii, and behind me there, if I could just point in the right direction there, that is Vesuvius. And basically the two sides that you can see now with the gap in the middle, if you draw a triangle straight up from those two sides, that was the original height of the mountain before it blew on the 24th of August. 80 something or other, can't remember the date. But yeah, you can imagine, I mean it's pretty close, you can imagine how terrifying that must have been. Unbelievable.
Ah si, il y avait des nains à l'époque. Mais à l'époque, c'était pas dans les listes.
Oui, il a encore son habit. Il a encore sa toge.
Ça c'est vachement bien de voir comment ça.
So according to our audio guide, this is a sign that basically says pedestrians only, and it's at the entrance to the Forum, and you have these little things as well to stop carts going down there and ensure that only pedestrians can go into the Forum. Pretty cool. Traffic management from 2,000 years ago. It's pretty cool that you can still see the chariot grooves in the road. Fortunately, this woman is now right in the way. Thank you for that. So peoply. Anyway, these are the grooves, which you can clearly still see in the road from the chariots, which had a regulation width wheels, which allowed them to go between these stepping stones, basically, which is pretty cool. So this is the courtyard of the house of the most wealthy resident in Pompeii. Has this private garden in the middle, as well as a whole bunch of rooms, 40 something rooms I think it was, and it is rather luxurious. You can tell even today how amazing it must have been. Yeah, quite something. The rich and famous of Pompeii, and yet still reduced to ashes just like everybody else. So the interesting thing about these streets is they served as streets and also a sewerage system. So there would have been a lot of waste and effluent and whatnot flowing down the middle. So every now and again you find these little stepping stones so that people can cross. But the interesting thing about them is they are set at an exact width so that carts can still go through the gaps. Because all the carts had a standard width, so that was the reason basically. So carts can navigate them, but people can also cross, and nobody has to get their feet wet in the muck. Unfortunately, it's behind this fence, so I can't really get a very clear video of it. But these are old pipes, which are surviving from the Roman days. And it's pretty cool that those still exist. Old lead pipes. So another particularly interesting thing about these pipes is that the lead for them was actually imported from none other than Great Britain, or Roman Britain as it was then. So this started life not too far from where we now live. How cool is that? So this is a garden of another grand house. And what's interesting about this is that the plants that you see here have been obviously replanted, but they've been replanted in exactly the same design and shape as the original plants that would have been here in Roman times. And the way that they did it was to basically survey the archaeological evidence, and then they got botanists to basically identify the types of plants based on the remains. And then they were able to recreate it, which is pretty cool. Here's some more of these pipes. These are actually easier to see because they're not behind the fence. Incredible that these still exist. As Rach very rightly pointed out, it is nice to see the more humble homes rather than just the giant palaces of the mega rich of Pompeii. This would have just been a simple one-roomed home of an average person. So this is one of the most famous buildings in Pompeii. Have a guess what it is? Yep, that's right, it's the brothel. It would have been pretty famous back in those days too. Yeah, that's what she said.
I think we should go out this way.
Yeah.
I know this is the entrance, but actually.
Alors, 5 chambres avec le menu illustré. Tu vois? Ça, c'est le menu. Comme ça, tu ne devais pas parler avec les...
Ma perché? Invece questa copertura che è stata fatta
Oh, the end of the trip. We'll show you the Tarcio Mario.
So I'm standing here at the top of the large amphitheatre. There is a smaller one, which you can just see the steps of there, right next door. Not sure how they divvied up the performances between the small and the large, or whether they were competing. And then this here is a gladiator barracks, apparently, where they trained and kind of did their thing, but they would actually fight in the amphitheatre. So that's pretty cool. This actually is one of the oldest parts of Pompeii. It was actually built in the Greek style, because before Pompeii was Roman, it was Greek, about kind of 2 or 3 centuries BC. So it's pretty old. But what's pretty cool is from up here is you can see kind of the whole layout of the town. It's pretty awesome. All of the stuff that we've just been exploring all the way around. There's so much more, in fact. But quite honestly, once you get up here, it all becomes pretty samey. Lots of shops and stuff that are all pretty much the same. From up here you can also clearly see the outline of Vesuvius, and you can really quite easily trace up from both sides to imagine what it would have looked like before it exploded. It just tore a huge chunk right out of the middle of it, and pretty easy to see why Pompeii was right in the firing line. What's also interesting is from up here you can kind of get a sense of where the ground level was before it was excavated. So there's this villa up there, which I don't know why that's there, or whether that predated the excavations, or I don't know. But just to the left there, you can see a bank where the gardens end for this villa, and that probably would have been about ground level. And then they've gradually just excavated away to reveal this whole town. It's pretty cool. Just pretty amazing place, I have to say. I'm very, very awed by it. Just the sense of life is so real here still. Just an ordinary place full of ordinary people that was just instantly wiped off the map. So we are climbing up into the hills above Pompeii. We're about to negotiate some pretty hairy switch bends, according to the map. And the Italian driving is as interesting as I was expecting it to be. But look at that view, it's pretty amazing actually. Well, I can't see it now, but it is quite something. And in the background we have Vesuvius looming above everything. Wow. Quite the road. You can really see how the mountain got blown away from up here. Let's just see the tops missing. Another hairpin coming up.
Come sempre non sappiamo come ringraziarti perché sei sempre chiarissimo, ci hai fatto capire esattamente la situazione al limite qual è, e ti voglio davvero augurare una buona giornata e buon lavoro. Grazie anche a voi, buon lavoro e un abbraccio a... Grazie. Speriamo, grazie.
into a very dramatic looking thunderstorm, having negotiated the Amalfi coast. And now we're driving back to Naples. But it is, that's thunder, you can hear it, I don't know if you can. We're literally driving straight into a thunderstorm.
Either side of the road.
Oh shit, look, all of these things have come off.
Oh no!
Oh god.
And then lightning.
Oh. You wouldn't get out, would you? You would just sit and wait. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Alrighty, so it's the last morning of our Naples trip. It's another beautiful day today. Yesterday we did Pompeii, which you saw, and then after that we took a drive over a very sketchy mountain pass down to the Amalfi coast. It got pretty stressful towards the end, to be honest. The traffic was a nightmare. It was just back to back, people walking in the roads, scooters going all over the place. Some of the roads were so thin that you just really couldn't get by. There were buses, there was all sorts. It was not the best driving experience, to be honest, so didn't do any filming. Got a little bit stressed, to be honest. But we made it, and we had a nice lunch in the town of Amalfi, and then we drove back over the mountain pass through the most horrendous thunderstorm back to Naples. The road was literally a river by the end. It was very sketchy, but we made it and we didn't die, and we're alive. And today we're going to do a final bit of sightseeing, which is to go to Castel Nuovo, I think it's called, which is basically one of the 6 castles, I think, in Naples. We're going to go check that out, and then back on the flights, and job done. But yeah, good holiday. Naples has been interesting. Not sure if I'd come back here, but it's certainly been an experience nonetheless. And Pompeii was just freaking awesome, absolutely amazing, proper bucket list stuff that. So yeah, that was worth 100% doing. Right, so we are currently walking down the streets of Napoli on our way to Castel Nuovo. And it's been quite an interesting walk just to experience the streets of the town as we go. My overall impressions of Naples are the town itself and the buildings and the architecture and the general condition is a bit sketch, a bit run down. Things are definitely a little bit on the unkept side, but this is a very, very old city. It's one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, and I think people here just have a sense of it is what it is. You just get on with your day. Things might not be perfect, they might not be beautiful, but everything kind of works for the most part. And you know, it's like the driving, you know, it's kind of a bit chaotic, but it kind of just has its flow. It just sort of works. And I think that is the sort of general sentiment of the people here, is just they kind of have their pride in their city, just in that it's still going after more than 2,000 years, and there's a sense that it might be a little bit shabby, but it's still good and it still works, and I respect that. I think that's pretty cool. Poop cruise. Yeah, not too sure about that claim, to be quite honest with you, but if you say so.
The most beautiful metro in the world.
Castel Nuovo. Look at that. Quite imposing. Good luck trying to storm that. You'd have quite a difficulty getting down there and then back up the ramparts again. Certainly not inviting, really. It's like, keep out. Right, so here we are inside the castle ramparts. Definitely strong, well built. No touchy. This is a very cool way of displaying this old stuff, but there is no information at all over what this actually is. My guess is some sort of Greek or Roman fortification. See these old pipes, so that maybe indicates that this is Roman, but there's no information. All this stuff is just a art exhibition, photographs. So who knows? It's a mystery, but it is quite cool that you can just float over it. So that over there is the Isle of Capri, which you can just see in the distance, and that is the headland that we drove over yesterday to go down to the coast.